This is what I wanted to play for y'all, but I messed up and I'm sad.
I'm not talking unless
Unless
y'all
you can
giving me
give me
land
land.
and 2,000
To
or
or
more
more.
every week. You hear me?
Everybody, just calm down.
Girl, just calm down. All right, guys, welcome to the Everybody Just Calm Down, the podcast where we break down the latest drama, the hottest topics, and all the tea from your favorite reality shows. I'm Aaron, and I've got my closest friends here with me as we dive into this week's juiciest moments.
I'm Onaja Ahmed. No, I'm Jared.
And I'm Shabana.
Shabana! Why does that, what's the girl, my neck, my back?
Kia.
Kaya.
There is a sound where she be like Shakana.
Oh, yeah.
Every time I hear that when I hear Shabana, you want to talk?
Do you want to say something?
You want to say something, Shabana?
No.
A mess. But yes, guys, this episode will be unpacking The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, season 14, episode 13, titled Caviar Ooh, am I having a stroke?
Girl.
Caviar
Catastrophe.
Wait. Thank you. Caviar Catastrophe. It's a wild ride, so sit back and relax and let's get into it.
Okay.
Woo! Girl, I got nervous for a second.
Okay, sweetie.
Honey, like...
The lies.
Girl, there's a lot going on, honey. How's everybody's week been so far? I know we just talked on Monday, but...
It's a little long, but, we're pushing through.
What is that about?
We were just talking about that. So is you
We were
too?
just saying it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan. Like, something,
Yeah.
it feels like it's much longer than I'm used to it being.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that and not only that, the daylight savings didn't turn yet. So the fact that it's still long and cold, I'm very confused about it.
I was about to say, wait, girl, do not tell me that it went up an hour and I did not notice.
No, I think
No,
they have like
March.
2 more weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what,
the 13th, to be exact.
I thought you girls was about to say something about what's those animals called?
The groundhog.
There we go.
I think he saw his shadow, if I remember correctly.
Pensaconi Phil died. I just found that out.
He has a name?
Pensaconi Phil. He's from Staten Island.
It cracks me up that people like her who always talk about people of a certain age, of a particular age, and she knows the name of the groundhog. Meanwhile, I didn't know the name of the animal, the type of animal, or their name. And here this old bitch knows the name. Like, what?
He's no longer with us. The new one now.
I cannot.
But yes.
All right, so go ahead.
Oh,
go ahead, D.
No, I was just going to say, but also, I just got finished watching the OJ, and wow, he really did do it.
You don't say.
Now I was 4 years old when he got acquitted, so I don't know.
Is this a new
Because you are
OJ
not.
show?
Oh yeah, it's new. But the girls are saying it is everything. It's like a documentary, but the girls are saying this documentary is lit.
It's called Manhunt, and it's a 4-part series, and it genuinely I think what is so different about this particular documentary, and I've seen others, is that it breaks apart not only from the cops' perspective that were on the scene, but it's breaking down, like, Ron Goldman's sister had a huge part in this. It was really good, I will say. I don't think we ever heard the other side. We only heard Johnny Cochran. We only heard OJ. We never heard the people who investigated. The cop who actually went to jail. He was the only person who was actually went to jail for perjuring himself on the damn stand. Now, that
the
took me out.
the racist one, right?
The racist cop. He said he will live with that for the rest of his dying days.
Well, I mean, that's what you get for being racist. You get what you get, and you don't pitch a fit.
Okay.
That's it.
All right, Jared. You already said the week has been long.
Yeah.
I will have to say, I don't know what's been going on this week. I'm excited about it, but I've been extremely productive.
Good for you.
I have a talent manager now as of today.
Oh,
so
congrats.
thank you. I am no longer pitching having to negotiate contracts any longer. I am now a person that has a manager, and reach out to my team if you need me.
Yes,
It's
that's his
giving
team.
cointadas, baby. I need about $5.
I cannot. So let's get into this episode. So we open up this episode with Jennifer Tilly finally getting a scene that is not based upon her being around Sutton or Garcelle. So we open it up with Jennifer walking into Caviar Caspia. I was excited to see her host her first scene. I love how childlike she is. Like I feel like even with the amount of money that she has, and let's be very clear, she has very similar money. She has very similar money to me as far as like, actually, no, I take that back. It's not similar to Sutton's money, because if Christian was to, God forbid, pass away, those payments stop. But the Simpsons aren't going anywhere.
Oh, absolutely.
And
she had to get a divorce.
Right. But he's gone. That will always be there for her. And I just love how childlike and campy she is around her money, like talking about layaway at Dolce & Gabbana as if she's poor. I just appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, they say that's how the rich stay rich.
Now that's not a lie. That's not a lie. No, I agree. I think that we got a better understanding of who she is and with her money as well, because she does have all of these. She has the same connections as every person, if not more, that she's surrounded with in this group, right? But she doesn't put it on a platform the way they do. It's almost uncouth the way they do it. For her, it's whimsical, so it's refreshing.
It is
like, girl,
whimsical.
we know you have a lot of money. It's fine.
Yeah. I also enjoy her confessionals because she reminds me of just somebody's old grandma aunt that just goes on these tangents. I feel like the producers ask her one question and she just goes on and on and on because she just be rambling. But I enjoy it.
No, 100%. I will say this, though, kind of piggybacking off of Danielle, of what she said, when she said that she realizes that Jennifer Tilly has all these connections. What I'm realizing is that Sutton didn't have these connections. It was actually Jennifer Tilly that had the connections. Because if you see the way that Jennifer Tilly talks about the D&G boys, it's very different in how Sutton talks about it. And now I feel like Jennifer Tilly brought Sutton along to those boys. That's how she knows them.
Yes. You don't have the connections, honey. It's Keisha.
Hello?
No, agreed.
So Sutton says that she wants a billionaire, some man that has a lot of money that can pamper her. I don't know if y'all clocked this, but did y'all clock how Jennifer Tilly essentially kind of low-key read her, was like, oh, yeah, I remember when Christian bought you that set from Cartier, basically saying, girl, you've been nothing but kept. Stop making it seem like you out here, like you were born into this or you've worked like Bose. Girl, you've been kept. So if you get a billionaire, he gonna keep you too. The difference is that you have your own money, which is...
But then also to take it a step further than that, though, you're acting like you're dating a doorman. And there's no shade to a doorman. But you're also you're not even in that search pool of men to even deal with. You would only be dealing with a particular group of men. The 1%.
Right.
And we saw you on a date and we saw how that goes. And you don't act like a prize or a woman that needs to be kept. That's not what you give. So you might want to work on that.
She wore a damn cat sweater. Of course not. Anyway, don't get me started, on lady.
Like that was aggressive.
It was. I'm sorry.
Like, don't do that to that poor lady. One last part about this scene, which just really bothers me, and that is she continues to say that Dorit was the reason that these drinking issues came up, and when in actuality it was Kyle that brought that up. And to be fair, even to Kyle, the reason Kyle brought that up is because Sutton thought she was too big for her britches last season and tried to come for Kyle, not realizing that Sutton, you're no match for Kyle.
She does this for fun.
Yeah, like you're no match for Kyle.
Yeah.
There's not many people I will say that to when battling Kyle, but Sutton, come on, stop. Like this ain't what you want.
Because correct me if I'm wrong, the alcohol comment from Kyle came after the sister comment from Sutton. It wasn't that the timeline in that
Exactly.
argument.
Yes. Good. Yes.
When
they
she
were
was
standing
hanging out with
together.
Kathy.
Right. You've already lost one sister.
Yeah, that
you
one.
want to lose another one.
Mm-hmm.
Which more and more, I'm starting to think that she is a social climber. From when Erica said that about her, and how everyone says that she's scared of Kathy and how she cares about her reputation. I'm starting to see that more and more with Sutton. But go ahead.
And can I just put a little 2 cents here? And this is just my opinion, and y'all can eat me up for this. I truly think that Sutton wants to be Kathy.
Oh yeah.
Oh well, yeah, 100%.
But not in a nice way, not in a form of flattery, more of in a negative light. Not a negative
Yeah,
light.
there's no positive light in you wanting to be me or want my life.
Yeah.
Those are some of the most dangerous people. Oprah said it best. The
Yes.
reason Gail is my closest friend is Gail is happier for me than I can be for myself, and she is not.
Correct.
She doesn't want to be me. She loves her own life.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So there's no positive way in someone saying they want your life.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Just throwing it out there. Because I've been there a couple of times. A lot of girls have wanted to be.
The
I'm about
girls
to
are
say,
crucifying me every day.
I want a talent manager, so watch out, Aaron.
Ooh, girl, okay.
Listen.
Child, let me go ahead and make an addendum on this contract because and so then we move on to a solo scene with Kyle and her therapist. Is it me? Or is it that Kyle has the most manliest men vendors known to man? Her party planner was like this strong, big, burly man, and then Glenn, and then this man comes walking in like just when you think about Beverly Hills and what it's supposed to give.
Dainty.
None of her people give that. They be looking like they live in the Midwest. Like they just work real hard jobs. Like where Kyle be finding these people, bro?
That's so funny because I didn't even notice, but as we were watching it, as soon as she opened the door for that man, Desmond's first comment is Kyle always got these regular ass people working for her.
Yes, thank you, Desmond. Thank you. And by the way, this is the best you both have ever sounded. Like we're lapping over each other and nothing's getting cut out.
Oh, true.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
But yes, that shit took me out. Like that, like Desmond, thank you for clocking that. She be having these like honestly, if her and Mo were still together and Mo walked in while they're talking, there's no way he's gonna think that he's a life coach. There's no way Mo would have thought that man was a life coach.
Yeah.
But she basically just goes on to talk about the fact that Mo and Portia are in Europe, and this is probably the first time that Mo has ever had Portia alone, at least away from Kyle. Mm-hmm. And this is new to her, and she's struggling with that. And she basically says that Mo is living his best life. And that she says it's different from men than it is from women. My question to you guys is, do you think that it is different for men and women when it comes to a breakup?
I think it depends on the dynamics of the relationship and what your role was in that relationship. Kyle was a stay-at-home mom for the most part, so her life revolved around the kids even when Mo wasn't around. Mo was always technically doing his own thing because he's still out working, he's building his business. When the agency was popping off, he's out doing whatever he does. Yeah, Kyle would come along a lot of times, but then half the time he was still out there doing it on his own. Whereas her whole identity was pretty much in that house and in that family. So I think it was a smoother transition for him in that sense because he was already 1 foot out, so to speak, where she was always 2 feet in.
Yeah, I agree with that too, Jared. And what I will say is too, especially in a divorce or a separation, I think whoever initiates the separation or a divorce has the upper hand, right? Because we know now Dorit was sidelined, quote unquote, with her separation. She had no idea it was coming. That's why she's still in a shocked state. On Kyle's side, in her eyes, she never thought a 30-year marriage would dismantle so quickly. Because they started off with this separation. The separation was to just have space. We'll come together and we'll reconcile after. She never thought in a million years that it was actually all going to spiral and then it would eventually just turn into a divorce. She didn't get separated for a divorce. She got separated to work through their marriage and then get back together.
I would agree. I agree with you in that sense. The only thing though is that Kyle did initiate it, though. I think Kyle is the one that initiated it.
Did she?
Because of what she says in this is that when she was over it, Mo, one, she said it was either one or two things. He didn't want to fight for it, or he didn't know how to fight for it. And she can't figure out which one is more sad. And so for me, that's literally my situation. I ended it. He didn't fight for it.
Fair.
That road that does so that's the situation that's between them. I do kind of feel though that it is a situation of your man, I'm going to do all these other things out in the street, live my life, be with these young girls, yada yada yada. Regardless if Kyle was a stay-at-home mom, I feel like that would have been the dynamic regardless, at least generally when it comes to a man and a woman relationship. A man he's going to look like he's having so much fun. Mm-hmm. Living his best life in Ibiza, doing his thing, while Kyle is sad, but there's going to be a flip. There's always a flip. In a year or two, Kyle is going to be happy over that situation. Of course, she'll have her moments, but Mauricio, it's going to hit Mauricio in a year or two when he realized, oh, these young girls just want me for my money, and this is not going to grow or build or do anything like that. I miss my wife. I miss my family. I miss my family unit.
Yeah.
And the more that she allows that we're still a family shit, the longer it's going to prolong him getting to that realization that he needs his family.
Exactly.
That's fair.
And it's like when she was mentioning that he's a very emotional person, which I could definitely see that just from watching him over the years. Like, to your point, Aaron, that's exactly what he's going to be missing once the fun of all of it is gone. He is going to miss that unit, or at least miss having that one person that's like for sure in his corner, versus he's probably going to spend the rest of his life, no matter who he's with, having to second guess whether or not they're just with him for his money.
Oh, 100%.
Absolutely. 100%. And again, your good looks will not last forever, Mauricio. He's a very good looking man. So right now he's seasoned daddy. You know what I mean?
Girl, calm down.
But in 10 years,
calm that puss.
But you know,
no, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about Jared. He's talking about he is.
No,
Jesus.
but I was not. I was actually gonna follow that up with, but he's already not. Season 2 was on yesterday. There was a marathon which I was watching, and Mauricio, compared to what he used to look like, is already not.
Aged.
Yeah.
He's aged. Yeah. He's aged. But again, remember what we just said. In 5 years, a man in 5 years and Kyle in 5 years can be two different things. She can get nipped and tucked and plucked, and she can be back to normal. Mauricio, on the other hand, is going to be missing a couple of hairs, so he'll have to get a hair transplant.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say even at this point, Kyle is aging better.
Oh, 100%. She looks great.
Yeah. No, 100%. I don't think we really pay attention to how much... When you have someone that is taking care of you on your small day-to-day things, it's very easy for you to not recognize, like, oh, I just thought this was life. I didn't realize that my partner was doing X, Y, and Z for me. I just thought the toothpaste just showed up. I didn't realize that I had to go to the store and get it. It's just those types of things. Again, I feel like every time that we go into a Kyle segment or Kyle scene when she's alone, I always end this scene by saying this, that I hate seeing it for her. Yeah. I really hate seeing it for her. Sad. Oh, and then one part that she said that I didn't want to leave out. When she talked about her mom, I was like, oh my God, Kyle, please don't say that. Because the moment that she said that her mother wasn't a good role model in terms of a family unit, having a husband and being a single mom, she felt like her having a family was her greatest accomplishment. Her greatest accomplishment. All I could think about was, oh my God, it's the show all over again. When she had that show on TV Land, now Kathy's going to be pissed. Why would you say that about our mom, that she wasn't a good role model? Yeah. I feel like Kathy's going to see that, and Kathy's going to be pissed about that. Yeah. Because Kathy was pissed about that show when she had that show that time, remember?
She was pissed about that. And what I will say is, too, I think for it to not get ugly, she'll understand that Kyle is at the lowest part in her life. Well, because she says it. Lost my marriage of 30 years. She keeps saying it. Yeah. I mean, girl, we get it. I feel bad.
You know what's crazy? I kind of feel like we won't be upset. Like, I feel like if Kyle would just express everything that's happened or what's going on, we won't feel as bad for her. Meaning, what she's going through is bad, but once we actually figure out that Kyle is the one that pulled the trigger on the divorce because Mauricio did X, Y, and Z, and we see how Kyle is living, I feel like we will look at Kyle as a much stronger person than we are currently looking like. We're looking at Kyle right now, the way Kyle is allowing this storyline to go, it makes it seem like Mauricio ended it and not
That's what
her.
I'm saying. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just, at the end of the day, he's going to look like a sucker.
But then I would take, and honestly, let's put a pin on that, him looking like a sucker. And then, because we'll put a pin in that because we'll have to circle back at the very end of last night's episode.
Right.
Because is he really a sucker?
Oh, yeah.
No, right.
Dang, how did I forget that happened?
Right. Can I, one last part before we move on to Bose's fertility consultation. What do y'all feel about when she says she doesn't want to close the door all the way because she feels that Mo may just need to sow his wild oats and then he possibly may want to come back? How do you guys feel about that?
I thought that was sad because honestly, I feel like if I was in that situation, I would have that same thought in the back of my head. And I definitely understood where she was coming from. And I definitely get that vibe from her too. And because, like you said, it goes back to what you just said earlier. Eventually, Mo's going to turn around. He's going to want that family unit back, et cetera, et cetera. And she's probably thinking the same thing. And she knows him better than any of us. And you picking up on that as a viewer, I'm sure, she has that thought to the 1,000th power. So it was sad, but I hope she does get her shit together and just decide to go forward with whatever she needs to. Because even at the end of the day, they can both go sow their wild oats and both decide to come back. Like, you never know. So do you, girl?
I was just going to say, I believe that they genuinely had a conversation, and that's something that we'll never know about because it's something very sacred between their marriage. So for me, I feel like they've already had a conversation, and her saying selling wild oats, she knows that he's out there doing him the same way she's out there doing her, right? Mm-hmm. So they put this time frame, because you notice that she uses a lot of time references, for 6 months and like a year. So they use a lot of time references between their separation. I truly feel that they had a conversation. She's a woman of a particular age. You may not be able to circle back. You may or may not be able to circle back.
Yeah, because she's knocking on death's door, child.
I mean, listen, she's closer to 100 than she is to 40. So what I'm saying
actually,
is...
no.
Isn't she like 60?
Yeah, but that's still 20 from 40. 20 from 40, 60 from 100.
But you're not going to go, but you can't travel backwards unless you're Age of Adeline.
Okay, so. We get it. You hate old people.
I don't. I love nanas and pop-pops. Love you guys. Shout out to the 55 and older crew. But what I'm saying, I say all that to say, I think that they're in a place, their marriage, 30 years is a long time, right? I think that there's absolutely opportunity to circle back and everything can go exactly as is because they come from a different time.
Right. No, I agree. Okay, I agree with that. And so essentially we move on to Bose at her home and she's meeting with her fertility doctor, Dr. Cindy. Again, another black professional from Bose. Do you see how easy this can be? How intentional you have to be? Like this, without her, we would not be experiencing this. I love Bose. Mm-hmm. You know what's happening with me when it comes to Bose? Well, when it comes to Keely, the more and more I see Keely, the less and less I am a fan of Keely.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I'm not a fan.
Isn't that crazy how that shifted? Mm-hmm. Why aren't you a fan, Danielle?
Well, he blew me up from the first dinner and the attire and the conversations. I didn't like that. So I was not a fan of that. I also just don't know in what direction this is going to. I mean, they're fertility specialists. I mean, again, in 2025, you can have a child all by yourself. You don't need anyone else except for your own body. And actually, you don't even need your body anymore. You can plant it in someone else's body, right?
Right.
I just don't see the connection and the family oriented and the building of it all. I'm not seeing it. It's something there that is holding me back. It's either it's false, or it's just not genuine. Like genuinely. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't like it. Not really. I was kind of icked out at this whole scene. He wasn't even there. I didn't like that he knocked on the door. I didn't like that.
That is actually a really, oh my God, Danielle, that's such a great point.
I didn't like that.
That makes me even think, why weren't you there waiting with her for the fertility doctor?
So weird.
He could have had to work. It could have been anything.
This shit was scheduled.
No, at the end of the day, we know what visuals look like and how these things can be viewed. So I feel like you said, even him knocking on the door. But at the same time, too, I will say this. I feel like had he just walked straight in, some of us, with the timeline that we know of how they dated, we say she got that not grown, but she got her teenage daughter in there and that man got a key to the house already. That could be a perception of that as well. On the flip side,
I wouldn't have got that because she already trying to have a baby with him. So that's why I wouldn't even
fair
got
point.
that.
Okay, eat me up, girl. Eat me up. Oh, she took her Wheaties today, y'all. She took her Wheaties today. She's eating me up, honey. Eat me up, girl.
I think y'all are nitpicking.
Here comes Cynthia, child.
I mean, I was with Dad's like 2 years, and he still didn't have a key to my house. Like, he had to knock. Yeah, like I don't see the big deal in that. They've been together a year? Yeah, and like to your point, she has a daughter. I think he could have been at work or could have been coming from anywhere. He was a few minutes late to the appointment. He was there. Nothing in this particular situation rubbed me the wrong way. I already stated my original red flags. Like, I don't know if he's all in with this child situation. And I don't, at the moment, see it coming from a malicious place. What I'm kind of saying is that I think he does love Bose and he does perhaps want a future with Bose. And because she wants this so bad, he wants it maybe for her. But if she said, let's stop it, I think he would also be okay with that.
That's fair. I agree with that.
Thank God.
Yeah, exactly.
Praise him. Girl, because I thought I know we figure it out, but Jesus,
right.
I'm glad you stopped
she really wants it. And then even like when she started to explain it more, because I know I was like, why is she doing all this, blah, blah, blah. But when she was talking about how I just love this man and I want a baby with this man, like I was like, I can see it and I get it. And he probably sees that in her too. And like, he's just like, okay, well, I guess we're going to do it.
That was a softer touch, Jared. I like that.
Yeah, that was kind of you. I will say this, just to kind of piggyback off the last episode. Was it the last episode? It was the last episode when Danielle tried to check us about our timeline. When she said Bose had a miscarriage and then 15 years later. Bitch, do you know how young Bose would have had to been to have that first miscarriage and then have a baby 15 years later? I did the math.
Not too much on teen pregnancies. Not too much.
Let's be very clear. Because you know how young she would have had to be?
How old?
17.
Not too much. Not too much.
Don't protest too much. Apparently. The girl couldn't even rent a car and had her firstborn, I'm hearing. Ooh.
Woo.
I was 19, relax.
And she is in the honor society. And what? And what?
National Honor Society,
and
baby,
National Honor Society, honey. And what? And she threw a mean right hook. And that's all I'm going to say.
Bitch.
So then we move over to Jennifer's Caviar and Caftans party. Everyone is getting together, and then you know how they love to split up the scenes of everyone getting ready, FaceTiming, driving together. The first thing that came to me, at least the first thing I wrote in my notes, was Sutton in her confessional says she has been to Caviar, Caspia, and Paris with Jennifer. Again, more references to showing that Jennifer has showed her a way of life. Because even though Sutton has been rich for a very long time with her ex-husband, it seems like, and especially from the last reunion where she said, Christian is moving to London. And Andy was like, well, what they got to do with you? Well, this man gets what he wants. So it sounds like Sutton, even with all that wealth, she couldn't do what she wanted to do. And so it seems like once she got single, that's when she was able to like really enjoy her money and do what she wanted with her own money. But I'm a really drag Sutton in a way that I have not. I don't think I've dragged anyone
Drag
on
her,
any
Monique.
of our episodes yet, and we'll go on as this goes. But Sutton then goes and says she says, there's different levels of caviar at this place in Paris, but there's really cheap ones and the ones that have this. Or I forget how she just described it, but she essentially says, poor Reet were probably like the least expensive caviar.
The roe on top that they serve sometimes on sushi.
On the sushi. That bothered me.
No,
that
the
was
roe
disgusting.
is actually expensive. It's not cheap.
It is, I guess, but it's in the world
the
of caviar.
Is not. No, it
right.
is not. It is the bottom of the barrel.
It is, but my thing with that, to make a comment like that was so gauche and disgusting. Mm-hmm. And she's gonna make much worse comments later on. Mm-hmm. But that, calling her poor Reet, where she has 2 children, divorcing from a man that is not kind to her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm good on her. I'm good on her. Yeah. Any thoughts on that comment, guys?
Should I go now or wait till she makes the actual comment?
Okay, yeah.
That's where it comes. Because that's where it comes down to for me. I agree with you for the poor Reet. This is where she started off, and then honestly, she does not let up for air.
And that was in the confessional. And that was in the confessional. So what that means is you had this situation and you came back for an interview and said that. And then we jumped to Bose and Dorit in the car and they're discussing Sutton. And Dorit says she doesn't know which Sutton she's going to get, which I think is a very fair point. Jennifer Tilly arrives and then she trips. I don't know if you guys remember a couple episodes ago where I said I was watching Humble Brag, where Crystal said she was playing tennis at Kathy's house. And how she was missing a lot of balls, and she told production, "Oh, please don't put that in there." And he says, "Oh, we don't do that. Beverly Hills is luxury." I'm starting to notice a turn where it's becoming slight. When I say this word, it's not to the fullest extent, but campy. Mm-hmm. It's becoming a little fun and like a little goofy, which I can appreciate.
Yeah.
Even with the music that they're putting in, like. Yeah, boom, like Curb Your Enthusiasm type of music. I thought that was really cute. So the guest starts to arrive. Erica arrives first, and she gushes about Jennifer. Child, if you want thing, go ahead and munch that carpet, girl. She gonna get kept by a girl. She gonna get kept by a woman, child. It's coming.
Now, I can see that. Now, one thing she gonna do is she gonna purr at Jennifer Tilly.
Hello.
Because Jennifer Tilly is exactly what Erica would love. Give me all the glitz and glamour without the man.
Oh, 100%. And then she gushes about her style, her fashion, the pieces that she has, and she says, "I don't even understand how she's friends with Sutton." And that gags me. And again, it kind of speaks to what we have talked about on this episode, how maybe all the judge that Sutton came in with, like, "Oh, I'm at D&G or I'm on these boards and I do this." It sounds like it's all coming from Jennifer Tilly. Mm-hmm. Like Jennifer Tilly was the girl that basically, put her on or whatever. Garcelle's enters looking really basic. One of the things that I wanted to bring up to you guys, unfortunately being black, when we only have one in a situation, we always feel the need to have to defend them. And I am I'm realizing that as we're doing this podcast, now that I have someone else like Bose on there that I actually feel more connected to and like more, I'm realizing, did I ever like Garcelle? Because I'm much more critical of this year, and I think it's because I felt like I had to, me being power to the people, pro-black, I felt like I had to, and no matter what she did, I had to be there to support her no matter what was going on. But now that we are getting more of them, and now we are able to not really pick and choose because it's just 2 of them, but still more than we had before, I'm finding I'm much more critical of Garcelle.
Well, I'll be damned, because you ate me up for years.
What I used to say, Danielle? What I used to say to you? What I used to say to you, bitch?
Black women. You black women. You hate black women. Now, when I tell you this man has belittled me, He has eaten me up. He has eviscerated me multiple times. Okay,
Girl.
on
Jared, let me
why
get
I
this
hate that
contract. Let me look at this contract because she is really setting the scene, girl. She is setting the scene.
So I'm so happy that you finally said that because again, let me be the first to tell you again, no, we love Black. Love it. Support my people. Love it so much. But right is right and wrong is wrong. And there's this little thing for specifically with Black females. It's the nitpicky. Obviously, we're really hard on each other as just as hard as we are on ourselves because it's like a little part of us is there, right? That's someone that we can see. It's basically us. But there was something about me from day one that rubbed me, and it was just like, yeah, no, you're not for me. You're not for us. Like you're not that Black girl. You're not a girl's girl. I'm sorry. Never liked her. And I'm sticking by it.
She has been very consistent on that.
Never liked her.
So again, the girls are arriving. My heart dropped when this one person walked in, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be a good dinner." Because anytime this lady shows up, it's a dinner.
I know exactly.
The morally corrupt Faye Resnick.
I was so excited.
When Miss Faynita walked in, honey, I said, "Oh, Kyle is about to be on one." When that is the equivalent of having Superman on your back. When Faye is there, because let's be very clear, Faye has been offered a diamond. I don't give a damn what nobody says.
Oh, absolutely. Well, she's old Hollywood. Let us never forget. She's been in the beginning.
Well, I mean, she's in the group with
Kris Jenner.
Yes.
She was the closest. I actually just found this out. She was actually a close friend to
Nicole
Brown Simpson.
Yes.
They made her go to rehab 3 days before the murder.
Yes, but let's not also forget. When Catherine was on the show, she was upset about the book because Faye put her in that book when we had Catherine. Which I don't understand why Catherine was a season wonder because I want to see that husband. That husband was fine.
Yeah,
that was a fine husband.
Danny.
Jesus.
What was his name? Yeah,
I don't know, but
was his name.
He can day in my knee. He can day in my knee. I don't even know what that means, guys. So, weirdly enough, everyone's showing up. Like, I was so discombobulated by the set. The only group that made sense showing up was Dorit and Bose. Everybody else showing up was very odd. We had Sutton, Kyle, and her assistant in the car. And this is when Sutton goes even lower, saying that throws shade at Dorit's finances by saying, there are people in this group that Dorit would love to have the same lifestyle as financially. It just kept getting darker and darker when it came to that, and I just wasn't a fan. So now at this point, go ahead, Danielle. Look like you're going to say something.
I know because I'm making this face because when you have a particular amount of money, right? This is above my pay grade. I hope to be there one day, but it's above mine right now. Mm-hmm. It's always uncouth, right, to speak on money, which is why they were all mortified at the Caftans luncheon.
I have a weird, like, I say numbers. Like, I have no issue with saying a number, but I will never ever talk about money to say I'm better than you. So like, if y'all were to ask me how much money did you get for this partnership or whatever, how much did they pay you or what does these partnerships look like? Right. I'm gonna tell you the number. I have no issue in doing that because I feel like when you are not honest about money, you are telling the universe that you don't want it.
Right. But then but what Sutton is doing is if you get invited to a benefit dinner, right, and then Jared and I tag along and we want to go, but you're like, but y'all can't pay for you. It's actually $100,000 a table, honey. You could never buy this ticket. That's essentially what she's doing.
And okay, let's move forward so we can really get into it, guys, because we got 24 minutes. So now everybody is at Caviar Caspia. Everyone is showing up. Dorit enters without a caftan. Apparently, she's misread the invitation. Sutton then asks for water, and then Dorit asks, "Is this because of the drama that we had from the 4th?" I don't know if I'm being biased, but I did not feel that was shade.
Oh,
I feel like that was. You felt like that was shade?
Yes.
Asking that lady, did she want water?
You're being biased.
I don't feel like that was shady. I felt like that was her way of trying to start the conversation up because they didn't get a chance to rehash it. And honestly, like I would probably say that to someone like, are you ordering that because of the conversation that we had. Like, you can be yourself. Like,
that was a dig.
Oh, all right.
Now, why the hell would I be ordering water at a luncheon when I do a vodka and Ocean Spring?
And it's also like it's also a double down.
Who's shady? Who's shady?
Dorit.
Okay, go ahead.
And it's also doubling down on it in the sense like, oh yeah, bitch, I really got to you. You ordering water, girl, I got you good.
Yes.
Like, please.
That was a dig, honey. I don't give a damn what you say.
See, this be this type of stuff that I talk about when I be like, I just don't understand why people don't like me, because that is something I would say like that, like literally inquisitive. Like, is this from the last time we talked, girl? You can do your own thing. Like, I ain't really. that wasn't my intention. And then the bitch was like, "Oh, he was trying to be shady." I'm like, literally, I was not trying to be shady.
And then we fry you for being delusional. Bitch, you knew what you was doing.
Right, and I'm over here like, legitimately, I did not do that. And so, of course, Sutton gets upset about the question, and then Dorit says, "See, I'm never sure of the Sutton I will get." And now she knows what Sutton she's getting. What gagged me, though, just a random gag, when Garcelle saw the name tag that said Anna Marie.
Oh, my God. When she said, who is that?
And again, Garcelle, stop trying to be Sutton's bodyguard and just admit you like Dorit. Just in the way that they had that quick little moment right there, like, aha! And Dorit, did you see how they laughed and joked with each other? Because that was Dorit that was beside her. They slapped hands. It's like, girl, don't let Sutton alienate you, just like Erica said a couple seasons ago. But go ahead.
We knew that they had a cute little relationship or a nice little reconciling, and no one said they're gonna be going off to the Champs-Elysees, right? No one said that. But we knew that Dorit and Garcelle were actually
breaking up places that I ain't never heard of.
In Paris, sweetie.
I was just rolling with it.
Anyway, in Paris.
I went there with Jennifer Tilly.
Me and the D&G boys.
In Sardinia, right. So, what I'm saying is we knew that Dorit and Garcelle had a cute little moment when the manly hands, when they were at Bose's house, and they had that cute little moment with each other. We've been seeing them have little tiny moments. Again, when we know who, Big Wallet is not around.
No, that's fair. Faye brings up that Jennifer was nominated for an Oscar, and again, Miss Encyclopedia, these random facts that she knows. Wait, aren't you the other, like, is it you and your sister that is the only siblings that have been nominated for an Oscar, or is it the other siblings that she brought up? And then we find out that Jennifer Tilly is half Chinese. And then it makes me realize that is why that bitch be putting D&G on layaway with all that money. She's extremely frugal. She's extremely frugal.
Yeah. We do. Now we do. But also, we also know now, too, that she is a person who comes from service. She bussed tables in college. So she knows this. She did not come from this. So for her having this wealth, she can flaunt, but also just know, bitch, if I feel like putting $100,000 on layaway, I will. And if I feel like going boogery, vintage, boogery. If I feel like doing that, and then I will too. No. I love Jennifer Tilly. I want her to actually hold a diamond now.
No, that's a fact. I can agree with that. But no, let me take that back. I don't think that I can see her with the diamond. I think I just want more of what they're giving. Give me more of Jennifer. I feel like for instance, how they did with Sutton, her first season, Sutton did not have a diamond. And I feel like I learned a lot about Sutton in that first season. They need to do that with Jennifer Tilly, and it just seems like they just aren't giving her that much screen time. But so then Sutton was on one. She really wanted to come for Dorit in this episode and at this dinner, because she then says, I'm not sure which person I'm going to be today. And then she goes to Bose and says, what did she say? She said, which person do you have in you, or something like that?
Bose said,
is that what she said?
Something like that. Bose said, excuse me.
She was like, I just have me in me. I don't know, what that means. And Dorit was just so not here for it. Sutton yells, I have some things that I need to get off my chest. Dorit, again, was extremely smart by doing it this way. She quiets the whole table and puts all the focus on Sutton. Miss, I only care about my reputation. when you have the likes of Kathy Hilton and whoever these other women are at this table. Dorit did not know what Sutton was about to say loud enough for everyone to hear. But Dorit putting that focus on Sutton, chef's kiss.
Yeah,
and
it was
then
really
what did what did Sutton do? Dig herself a big asshole. Sutton goes on to basically talk about the July 4th event. Brings up the bag joke again. Such a Sutton thing.
Yeah.
Such a Sutton thing to not catch a joke. I wish Reba give her. Oh my God! Like,
give that girl a hug, please. Call her once a week.
Right.
Your mommy issues are overflowing now. It's actually kind of sick.
Right. And then she rehashes the insinuation of the drinking problem. Dorit says she wasn't the only one bringing up Kyle, which I was very happy that she did that. And then Sutton says Kyle apologized. And then thank God for Erica jumping in and not, well, Bose couldn't because she wasn't there. But Erica jumps in and says, I thought she did too. They flashback. Dorit really didn't apologize. But this may be me being biased again. Dorit never really said it. I feel like Kyle said it more than Dorit did, but whatever.
I mean, again, if an apology is someone blatantly saying, I'm sorry for doing this, because I'm not a person that will ever, I've actually never apologized to anyone in my life before. I've never actually said, I'm sorry for this, well, I'm not going to say sorry for what. So I felt like in Dorit's case, she was saying...
She's delusional.
I've never said sorry.
That's wild.
For what? I'm not a sorry person. If I said it, I meant it. But unfortunately, if I will clean it up. What I'm saying is, I felt like in Dorit's manner, she was saying sorry. She wasn't blatantly saying I apologize, but she was saying I apologize because that statement could have offended you and that could have put a different light on it. But she wasn't saying she was sorry for the alcoholic comment. I don't believe it.
Yeah, okay, I can agree with that. So then we get to the horrible line that we are all here for. And Sutton basically says, Dorit, you are picking on me. And Sutton says you need to pick on someone whose wallet fits. And then Erica asks, do you think you're bigger than her? And she says, my wallet is. I don't know if y'all caught this, but Garcelle was not a fan of that.
Oh, no. They zoomed in on, did you guys see they zoomed in on Garcelle? They went to Kathy, who went like this, because that really disgusted her. And then they showed everybody else. Oh, everyone at that table was mortified.
It screamed new money. It screamed gauche. It screamed classless. And it also screams, this is who you are.
Right.
Like, this is how you operate. This is how you view people. And also, too, you speaking that way, you talking like you're a Bose. You're not, you didn't work for that.
Yeah.
You were a kept wife. And don't get me wrong, a stay-at-home moms, that is one of the hardest jobs known to man. But at the end of the day, let's not make it seem like, first of all, sweetie, I will cut that out. You are not about to mess up no sponsors for me. Talking about stay-at-home moms ain't no hard job. It's a very hard job. But for me, I just could not understand. Like, who do you think you are? You got divorced. And luckily that man, well, he did try to fight you. He hid his assets. But, like, for you to say something like that, and then going back to what I said about Dorit, making sure that the table was quiet so they can hear everything that this woman said, it was disgusting. What were you guys' thoughts?
I'm gonna try not to go on a rant because I had a lot of thoughts. But
go on your rant.
No, I agree, and I'm gonna preface it by saying this: I wasn't super outraged about her bringing up money because it's Housewives. We've seen it before. It's come up on Housewives of Atlanta, etc., etc. The manner in which it was brought up didn't land at all to me, and the reason for it is because any conflict that her and Dorit had prior to this was completely irrelevant from money. Like, she pulled this out of her ass. To your point, Aaron, because this is how she feels, and she pulled this as her trump card because that's all she had. And that annoyed me. And for me, and then for you to equate money to being above somebody, and so many people, I keep seeing comments on Twitter like, well, this was specific to Dorit because Dorit was his lifestyle. I don't give a fuck, because if it was me and I was Dorit, she would have said the same shit to me. And I'm not going to have no bitch I'm not gonna have no bitch in this earth thinking that they're better than me just because they have a bigger wallet.
Hello.
Agreed.
I agree. You ate
Also,
that.
also, it
That
goes
will
back
be a
to.
clip, by the way.
Thanks. Also, it goes back to the point of how they always say that Sutton loves to kick a bitch when they're down, because why would you pour that out now? You've been on the season with Dorit, 4 years? For 4 years, and for every moment up until this point in this season, you have never brought up this lady's money. This lady's getting a divorce. Her money is up in the air. She has 2 kids, and now you want to throw this shit at her. That didn't land for me at all. I think Sutton, for me, is a weak bitch, because even when you look back on it, every time she goes after somebody, she only goes after somebody at their low point. Anytime she comes for somebody that isn't going through something, when she came for Crystal, she couldn't take Crystal. When she came for Lizard Lady Diana, she couldn't take her because she wasn't going through nothing. The only time she really goes hard at somebody was when Erica was going through her shit, when Kyle was going through her shit, and when Dorit was going through her shit. There's nothing in this world to make me think that Sutton is not a weak ass bitch, and I don't understand how people don't see that.
My eyebrows up to the sky. I know you heard that.
I would just like to say, I said I was going to read Sutton. What the fuck am I going to say after that? Like,
Not one thing.
You just ate her. That is probably one of the most succinct reads of Sutton that I've heard.
It's a good read.
In general. It also there's also like another part to this as well. Just like you said, if you were there, she would have done the same thing to you. Garcelle, you sitting there, that don't make you feel no type of way? It did. Right. You showed it, but like, think about it, Garcelle.
Right.
If she could say that about Dorit, who is going through a divorce with her 2 kids, where it sounds like she may be the primary, the primary financial person that's responsible for her lifestyle at this point, and you throw that up in her face, that's crazy to me. Oh, the after show was even worse. She talked about that girl's house in foreclosure on the after show.
She did?
Yes, you over here with your house in foreclosure, but you over here getting the latest Louis Vuitton, even though I know you didn't pay for it. This is what she's saying on the after show. That is why I have no bad words of Kyle, because Kyle was eating her up on the after show. I sent you the clip.
Yes.
When Kyle said, well, if that's the case, then so you need to sit the fuck down too, because if you're going to put your value on your money, I said, Kyle, let me see what those accounts look like, because that just got me aroused when Kyle said that. I said, Jesus Christ, Kyle.
And again, as Dorit said, the only thing your wallet did buy you was a fucking horse, not a date.
Hello. And then I want to be another thing too. Dorit not fighting her in the way that she's fought Kyle or fought her in the previous seasons. In the episodes prior to this episode this season, her just allowing Sutton to go off in the way that she's going off and saying, this is the Sutton, this is what I'm talking about. Sutton looks so unhinged.
Oh,
nobody left that dinner with a positive view of Sutton. Everyone left that dinner saying, wow, how could she say and do that to a woman that's going through divorce with her husband purposely putting that house in foreclosure in that way? Wow, what a horrible person.
And then to top it off, because when you say poor Dorit, listen, let's be real, right? Because are we talking Martha Stewart broke or MC Hammer broke, right? Because there are 2 different types of brokes, okay? You can be, Martha Stewart is still okay. MC Hammer, not so much. She ain't MC Hammer. If she can still walk into Louis Vuitton and them still curry her a new bag, whether she paid for it or not, her name still rings bells.
Well, yeah. Well, to be clear, Martha Stewart is very well off as of now.
Martha Stewart. Yeah. No.
Very well off. That you talking about when she went to prison?
When she went to prison, but just like that. But like I said, she was losing assets, but also poor in a wealthy world you ain't begging for change at 7-Eleven. Let's just say that. Dorit is not going to a soup kitchen. She's not selling off her things, right, to feed her kids. That's poor.
Right. No, I agree. So after Sutton has said the most horrendous things, Dorit says, oh, but did I call you a bitch in my home? And then Sutton says, I should have called you a fucking bitch, which I thought like, ooh, okay, Sutton, eat that up. But this is the thing, what threw me off, and which made me go very low in my DMs to Dorit again. I said, Dorit asked for a mirror, basically insinuating that, Sutton, you're being a hypocrite. You need to look at yourself in the mirror. And then Sutton says, you need a touch-up, of course. Now, call me crazy. Dorit, Sutton, and especially in real time, Sutton, for you to have all that fire, this is the worst you've ever looked. You looked horrible at that table. You looked a hot-ass mess.
Well, the girls also brought up that old picture of Sutton. Did you see that old picture before she was touched up? That's actually been circulating.
Yeah.
Not good. Oof, not good.
It was just that was crazy to me. But one of the things that I did, one of the last things I want to point out from this scene before we get into like the Mauricio of it all, we all know that Kyle gets a battery in her back when Faye is there. And I was extremely nervous that when Dorit called out Kyle, like, and Kyle, I can't believe you're sitting here quiet. I was like, oh my God, Dorit, you're about to get double teamed. They are about to attack you. And the fact that Kyle actually was the voice of reason and actually had Dorit's back in this moment, I was like, oh, this may be an episode. This is an episode of Everybody Just Calm Down where I don't have a negative word to say about Kyle.
No, I
like
won't.
Not one negative word.
And Faye cleaned it up. Did you notice how when Faye came in and was like, well, because you have a drinking problem, as a little jokey joke, not one person jumped on her ass.
And Sutton still couldn't even take that as a joke.
She couldn't even take that as a joke. But do you see how Garcelle was about to say something, but then she did not? You got to pick and choose your battles. Garcelle was actually going to jump in on that, and she was like, you know what? Fuck it. This ain't even my fight. I'm not even doing this for her, because that's actually a war that you don't want.
No, that's a fact.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that with Faye.
I just want to point out, going back to Kyle, that, my girl is just really turning it around this second half of the season.
Girl, shit, I'm good deed.
She's been, ever since we had the mid-season trailer, Kyle has been on the roll. She's had some good episodes. She's been fine.
Girl, 1.5 episode. You tried it. You want Kyle to win so bad.
My girl is turning it around.
She won this episode though. She did win this episode. She did the things. I was here for it. And so we move on to the end of the episode where we realize that I'm confused. I didn't understand why this was a big debacle. Can someone explain to me why this is a big debacle? Like, we did not know. Like, he was just in Aspen with young girls and going crazy. So why do we care about him being at this airport?
Do you know why we care? Because Kyle, we just said it earlier before. Because Kyle is not she is not upfront with the true nature of their separation. And not that she has to tell these ladies all of her whole business, but she doesn't insinuate that things are amazing, but she also doesn't insinuate how bad shit is either. So you're leaving it to the imagination. So when you're like, oh no, but we're still doing things as a family. When you're saying things like that and you're like, oh no, we just did dinner and we just did this. And then you're like, wait, he just met up with old girl at the airport in Greece.
So
what is that?
So basically you're saying it's a whole bunch of...
The lies.
Yeah. Yes. Pretty much.
Yeah, they made it so big that I was just like, but we saw last season that he was in Aspen. I just didn't understand the whole big drama of it all. There was a really good point someone made about the fact that it could have been because of because they were like, okay, first of all, this is a small airport in Greece. Apparently a lot of them have been through this airport and there's like no paparazzi there. So they were saying like, who called the paparazzi for that to be shown? Was it his influencer girlfriend or was it Mo trying to get back at Kyle over the whole Morgan situation? So, any thoughts, Jared, on your girl?
No, I was just wondering where the hell Erica was going.
What do you mean? Oh, she was beat, bitch, won't she?
Yeah.
She was beat. Erica was beat. Danielle, go back and watch that. She was beat.
Yeah, that was my main question. That was the only thing in my notes.
She actually was. Oh, you know what? Now that I'm like,
the hair was like, everything too.
Like. Okay, yeah, Erica, you look great. No, Erica looks great.
I don't know.
Where she was going.
I think Jennifer said it on Watch What Happens Live that she hinted that she felt like the girl was behind it, which I'm
Yes,
inclined to
Yeah.
believe. Yeah, I feel like
I can
that's the
believe
thing
that.
that makes the most sense.
They said that because they said I did see that clip here, and they were talking about because of the way that she was dressed and the angle of the photo, like, hey, I'm going to be here at this airport. Well, because your girl Big Wallet, Big Draws said that she was at that airport when Jennifer Aniston was there, and she ain't see nobody.
Yeah. Now she was Sutton's whole theory. She was definitely reaching. She just wanted to wallow in somebody else's misery as always. So that was Sutton being
Misery do
Sutton.
love company though. And now I
She
will
loves
now the
it.
longer the she really does, and I will say that I will say this now, and I wasn't seeing this before, and then just in the little clips. And they even played this clip back in this episode where they showed her having that conversation with Dorit on the yacht. And I'll sit with you in the mediation room. I'll be right there with you. Then fast forward to all the antics that she's been doing. Sutton is a fraud. Okay?
I think, Danielle, what you're saying is 100% spot on, and it's a different aspect of misery loves company. It is that I am miserable, and I want to be around you as you are miserable, and then when you do something that I don't like, I'm going to take everything that I witnessed and weaponize it and use it against you.
Yeah.
That girl is a mess. She is a sad, and honestly, we knew that she was sad before because of the divorce and everything like that. But honestly, even a step further, how sad and miserable she is, going back to her being in Georgia with her mother. She has a list of things that have not been talked about. I think she needs to go on a nice, expensive couch and speak to a very expensive psychiatrist and unpack all of her issues, because she has issues stemming from childhood to now adulthood, and she doesn't know how to I don't think she doesn't really even truly know how to be a friend, because she was a prisoner in her marriage the entire time. So she wasn't allowed to have friends to be around.
Yeah.
Oh, allegedly. She wasn't a prisoner. She wasn't a prisoner. No, she wasn't in a dungeon like Candy. Or like Portia.
Allegedly. Jesus Christ.
Allegedly.
Um,
But I say all that to say she has some issues that really just it's a newfound like just a new low for her. You're just a miserable soul girl. You really are. You're not happy for anyone.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right. Well, eat her up. Well, then now, guys, it is time for our favorite segment of the episode, and that is...
Everybody, just calm down.
Girl, just calm down. As y'all can see, I've been trying to figure out how to use this and put it all into... You know, I've been doing my things, you know, being a producer and whatever. Look, I gotta prove why I need 10 more than y'all hosts. I mean, I think, guys, honestly, there's no shocking, no guess. It's giving landslide.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is Sutton. Sutton, you are a disgusting, vile person that feels like money allows you a certain level of clout. And don't get me wrong, we live in America, it does, but that it really doesn't mean that you're better than anyone. I would actually say this franchise, Beverly Hills being the franchise that it is, outside of the things that we see, the girls really aren't gauche when it comes to their money in the way that it is. Like, if you know, obviously production puts price tags on there. But when it comes to, Nene Leakes, I'm very rich. You've never heard any of those girls say that on the show. And they have always had traditionally the biggest pocketbooks.
Oh, absolutely.
And so for you to come on this show and literally, this is the first time I've ever had to say this, but you are literally declassing the show.
You're freaking fraud.
Freaking fraud. You are declassing the show. You are a joke. How dare you talk about your pocketbook as if you worked for it?
Lay right on your back.
Hello, go ahead, Jared. With
Thank
that
you.
weird ass kid. What's that weird son she got? James, weird ass James.
Kids and husbands is off limits.
All right, allegedly. All right.
Well,
No,
Go ahead, Jared.
I have no notes. You said it for me. Sutton, calm the fuck down.
So yours is okay, right?
yeah. We've already said what we need to say. Sutton, girl, you are nasty, girl. And honestly, with all your coins, the face is still not adding up. So enjoy your money alone with your horses.
Ciao. All right, guys. Well, that's all for today's episode of Everybody Just Calm Down. We hope you enjoyed our take on the latest drama from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Be sure to follow us on social media to stay up to date with the latest updates. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment on the podcast. We'll be back next week to break down even more of our favorite reality moments. Until then, everybody, just calm down. Peace.
Bye.
Everybody, just calm down.
Girl, just calm